So today let's talk about what makes a muscle grow and what makes up your muscle, period. First of all, most of your muscle is made up of water. The majority of your muscle is water. There is only a small percentage of your muscle that is the actual contractile tissue or the protein portion of your muscle. So, lifting weights that are heavy enough to create damage or micro tears to these contractile fibers, that creates what we call hypertrophy. It also creates an environment where hyperplasia is possible. Hypertrophy just means that the cell gets larger. Hyperplasia means that the cells divide and multiply. So basically hypertrophy is growth in size. Hyperplasia is your growth in number. But one realm of muscle growth that a lot of people don't think about is the cell volumization, the water portion of your muscle. By volumizing your muscle, you can make the muscle larger without necessarily making your contractile tissue larger. Now, having said that, the contractile tissue portion of your muscle is what is going to remain if for some reason you can't work out for a couple of weeks or 3 weeks. The contractile portion of your muscle is the portion that's going to stay the longest. Because when you grow a muscle from cell volumization, the cell volumizes because you are storing more glucose in your muscle. With more glucose comes more water. Okay, why does your muscle store more glucose? Because of the volume, the energy demand you put on that muscle. So let's say that you do 4 sets of 10, or you have another person who does 4 sets of 20. The person who does 4 sets of 20 is going to demand more energy than the person doing 4 sets of 10. Therefore, the volumization of the cell is going to be greater in the person doing 4 sets of 20 as the one doing 4 sets of 10. Now, having said that, the person doing 4 sets of 10 probably is using more weight, because you should be failing around 10 to 12 reps if you're doing 4 sets of 10. So the person doing the 4 sets of 10 is going to create more muscle damage and therefore get more contractile tissue growth, while the person doing 4 sets of 20 is going to get more cell volumization growth. So what's the moral of the story? The moral of the story is you need to cover all avenues, all rep ranges. You want to create the damage to the tissue, to the portion that is actual protein, the protein contractile fibers, and you also want to create a demand for energy by having your reps high and your volumes high on some of your sets as well. That's why it's always a good idea to cover your heavier sets and also to cover your lighter sets and do more reps, maybe towards the end of your workout or something like that. But anyway, just a helpful tip for the day. It is a misconception a lot that, doing, for instance, if you are on the Stairmaster and you kick your leg back, you do kickbacks. That's really not doing anything to damage the tissue. Maybe you're putting a little more demand on your glute, so you'll store more energy there. Or this is for all you ladies who don't use any weight heavy enough to create damage. You may be creating a lot of demand for energy, but that is going to be the muscle mass that goes away first if for some reason you can't exercise. Because if the demand for energy is gone, then your body is going to stop storing glucose in that area, and therefore less water, and therefore less cell volumization for the muscle growth. Anyway, hope this helps. Hope this information is useful to you. I hope you'll have a good day.